Tonight on SRU Nightly News, a house fire in Grove City claimed 2 lives.
A deadly shooting took place in Elwood City.
A look into the trial on the murder of Butler native Kleigleng Kaufman.
And gas prices are beginning to rise. All this and more on SRU Nightly News.
Welcome to SRU Nightly News. I'm Brandon Pierce.
And I'm Rebecca Preneta.
We start our show off tonight with a Grove City house fire that claimed the lives of 2 people this past Monday morning. The fire started just after 8 a.m. on Monday on the 1000 block of Enterprise Road. Due to the location of the fire and a lack of water in the area, several surrounding fire departments were asked to assist. Pine Township Fire Chief Nay Adelman spoke with WKBN 27. Chief Adelman told the news outlet, quote, "Daytime calls can make it tough, so we did call for quite a lot of help. There were well over a dozen departments. 6 people were residing in the house at the time of the fire. 5 made it to safety. 37-year-old Justin Faust died while attempting to rescue a baby, 1-year-old Kendrick McBride, who was also lost to the fire. While the investigators have made no rulings on the cause of the fire, the family mentioned to WKBN 27 that the fire may have been caused by a space heater inside the home. We'll keep you informed as more updates emerge.
Also on Monday, a deadly shooting at an apartment complex in Elwood City took the life of 1 victim and left another in critical condition. Police have identified the deceased victim as 42-year-old Krista Gnetchel. 24-year-old Cassidy Smith was named as the other victim and is currently in St. Elizabeth Hospital in Youngstown. The shooter, 23-year-old Keegan Willis King, surrendered to the police and was taken into custody and charged with criminal homicide and attempted criminal homicide on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, a jury in Tennessee found 1 man guilty of first-degree murder for the shooting of Butler native Kleigleng Kaufman. In December of 2020, Kleigleng Kaufman was driving on Interstate 440 in Tennessee when she was shot during an incident of road rage. 23-year-old Devontae Hill and 29-year-old James Cowan were driving in a car when they claimed they were cut off by Kaufman. While Cowan drove, Hill fired a gun several times in the direction of Kaufman's car. Hill testified in court that he was the shooter, but that most of the details of the incident were a blur. In his testimony, Hill stated, quote, "I don't remember all the facts of that, I just remember picking up the gun and shooting. That's it. I can't tell you how many times I shot, I can't tell you if I had seen the woman, I couldn't tell you if I didn't see, I just reacted recklessly." Should both men be found guilty, they could be facing life in prison.
Gas prices across western Pennsylvania are back on the rise, as some areas saw an increase of at least 4 cents a gallon. Nationally, gas prices have increased by 10 cents on average within the last week, placing gas more than 10 cents more expensive than it was a year ago at this same time. According to AAA, the cheapest gas in our area can be found in Newcastle at $3.71 a gallon.
When we return, COVID restrictions are finally being lifted, and New York House Representative George Santos is stepping down.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. Nearly 3 years after they were first declared, President Biden announced that national COVID-19 restrictions will be lifted on May 11th. Biden's statement comes as House Republicans bring resolutions to the House floor this week seeking to bring the emergency declarations to an immediate end. The move to life, the restrictions would bring an end to free at-home COVID tests. Hospitals will no longer receive extra payments for treating COVID patients, and the out-of-pocket expenses for COVID boosters could skyrocket. Vaccine manufacturers like Pfizer could charge up to $130 per dose of the vaccine. Experts say 1.1 million people have died from COVID since 2020, and while cases have started trending downward, COVID is still very much a part of our everyday lives. Nationally, 3,700 people died from COVID on the course of the last week. Without the restrictions, it would be on those affected to make the right decisions for those around them. The World Health Organization stated that COVID-19, quote-unquote, remains a global health emergency. The ending of the national emergency declarations would position the United States with many other nations around the world as day-to-day life has slowly began to return to normalcy. China, however, has seen a major surge in COVID cases since lifting their restrictions in early December.
New York House Representative George Santos has informed his Republican colleagues that he will be stepping down from his committee assignments.
Step down for committees until you get cleared. Are you confident that you will be cleared?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Why are you confident you'll be
Confident
clear?
I'll be clear because I have nothing to hide.
Why
When
won't
do
you
you
answer
think-
our questions about your past, your finances?
My
you
questions will be answered to the
When?
appropriate people. The media is not judge and jury of anything. Sorry.
If you have nothing,
Santos has been under fire recently due to complete misrepresentations of his professional and personal life. This includes claiming that his mother was working in the Twin Towers during the terrorist attacks on 9/11. However, records of a visa application show Santos's mother to have been in Brazil at the time of September 11th terrorist attacks. According to the information she provided, she had not been in the United States since 1999. There have been numerous other claims made by Santos that investigators have been able to poke holes in. On Monday, Santos met with House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, requesting to step down from his committee assignments until he was able to clear up these claims. McCarthy gave a statement about their meeting on Tuesday. Quote, "I met with George Santos yesterday, and I think it was an appropriate decision that until he could clear everything up, he's off of committees right now." End quote. McCarthy expanded on his statement saying, quote, "We had a discussion. He asked me if he could do that, so I think it was the appropriate decision." End quote. We'll continue to update this as the story progresses. On Tuesday, actor Alec Baldwin and film armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed were both formally charged with involuntary manslaughter in the shooting death of cinematographer Hal Yun Hutchins. In October of 2021, Baldwin was preparing to film a scene with a prop firearm for the movie Rust. The gun went off and killed 42-year-old Hal Yun Hutchins, and injured director Joel Souza was only injured. According to Baldwin and others on set that day, the armorer was supposed to have handed Baldwin a cold gun, meaning it did not have live bullets in the chamber. Baldwin has maintained that the gun misfired as he had not pulled the trigger. Prosecutors accuse both Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed with failing to follow standard film safety protocols on set. Special investigator Robert Schilling, who works for the district's attorney's office handling the case, gave a statement of the filing of the charges against Baldwin. Quote, "This reckless deviation from known standards in practice and protocol directly caused the fatal shooting." End quote. If either Baldwin or Gutierrez-Reed are convicted, they could face a lesser charge, which could have them facing 18 months in prison, or a more serious charge that could have them facing a mandatory 5-year sentence.
Over a half a century ago, Boeing Aircraft introduced the Boeing 747. On Tuesday, Boeing delivered the final 747 to be manufactured. The 747, also known as the Queen of the Skies, was introduced in February of 1969. It offered passengers affordable and roomier air travel. While this final produced plane wouldn't carry won't carry any passengers. It was handed over to U.S. air cargo operator Atlas Air. Boeing will introduce a new version of the 747 labeled B-77X. For many travelers, this is the end of an era, as the 747 has been a staple of air travel for many of their lives. Coming up, a special interview with local business Memory Lane Media.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. I'm here with Dan Fleming, a co-founder of Memory Lane Media, a local business out of Indiana, PA. He's here to share a little bit about the business and the services they provide. Welcome, Dan. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about Memory Lane Media.
Yeah, so Memory Lane Media digitizes home movies and old film and puts them into more modern formats such as flash drive or DVD.
Very nice. So tell me a little bit more about the services provided there.
Yeah, so our most popular service is VHS to flash drive. It's really incredible with a flash drive. Our current record is 93 full-length VHSs onto one flash drive, and that flash drive can be played from your computer, from most smart TVs. It's really just a great way to access all of your movies in one place. We also digitize 8mm film, which was popular from the 1950s through about the late 1970s, early 1980s. We digitize 35mm film. We digitize mini DVs as well, a more modern video cassette, and VHS compacts. We also digitize photographs and audio cassettes.
Very nice. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of these when I was growing up. My parents used to have them, and grandparents, and all those VHS tapes.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's a lot of families that still have these in their households. What tips or tricks do you have for families who may be a little hesitant to digitize their old memories like this?
Yeah. So first off, if you do digitize your memories, you get everything back in its original condition, if not better condition, if we need to do any cleaning or repairs to it. Secondly, if you're not quite ready yet, but you want to do it eventually, if your memories are stored in the attic, in a garage, or somewhere where it's not your main living area, we'd strongly suggest bringing those to a more temperature-controlled environment. Big swings in temperature can really damage these memories and make them unplayable. So please bring them into a more stable, temperature-controlled environment.
Of course. And how did you get involved with Memory Lane Media? How did this start up?
Yeah, so in 2016, my wife and I, we were getting married that year, and we wanted to create a montage of family members that had passed away to share at our wedding reception. And we couldn't find anybody local to do the work. We called a couple large national businesses that did the service, and it just felt very impersonal. We didn't know who was going to be getting our memories. So we went out and bought a VHS to DVD converter and did the work ourselves. And we had so much fun. The work was fun, but also sharing these memories with our families and seeing their faces light up, seeing loved ones or watching videos that we haven't seen in decades. Seeing that reaction made us say that someday we'd like to start a business digitizing home movies, and a few years later we did that.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of other customers that you have feel the same way, seeing their memories digitized like this.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the most rewarding part of the job, is handing the memories over to someone and seeing their reaction whenever they get to watch them again.
I'm sure. Let's take a look at some of the footage you worked on in the past.
Sounds
so
good.
Tell me a little bit about it, if you would, please.
So this is 1983, Jimmy Stewart. This is in Indiana, Pennsylvania, his hometown. This is a parade honoring his 75th birthday. It was a weekend-long event. President Reagan called in. There was an Air Force flyover.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's pretty cool to see the cars like that. It's really a blast from the past.
Yes, yeah, almost 40 years ago now.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
It is.
Well, Is there, how could customers reach you if they want to digitize their memories like this?
Yes, the best way is phone. Our phone number is 724-406-9679. They can also visit our website at www.memorylanemedia.online, or they can visit us on social media. We're on both Facebook and Instagram.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dan, very much for joining us on our show today. And if anyone would like to have their memories digitized, be sure to reach out to Memory Lane Media and make sure to keep those memories preserved. After the break, please stay tuned, and we're going to tell you a little bit about Black History Month and the events that are coming up at Slippery Rock University.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. The Office for Inclusive Excellence is hosting an event coming up this week, and Rock the Weekend, my apologies, are hosting a Black History Month featured movie. The movie this year is going to be Woman King, starring Viola Davis. Come and join in on the fun with snacks, prizes, and bingo. The movie will be shown on Friday, February 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Smith Student Center Theater.
The dance department is hosting their Emerging Artist Dance Concert. This dance concert will feature a curated dance program choreographed by dance majors and featuring two guest artists, Helen Simino and Martha Graham. The performances will be on Friday, February 3rd at 7:30 p.m. and Saturday, February 4th at 4 o'clock p.m. in the Miller Auditorium Theater. You can purchase tickets for $15 at sru.universitytickets.com.
The Office of Inclusive Excellence, the Music Department, the Office of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, and Belonging, the President's Commission on Gender Identity and Sexual Orientation, and the President's Commission on Women are coming together in hosting the Gender and Performance from the Trans Biop Perspective series. The series consists of 3 sessions starting on Tuesday, February 7th at 8 o'clock a.m. with the lecture, The Trans Voice, online through a link provided on Core. The second session will take place on Wednesday, February 8th with the recital, Challenging Gender Roles at 7:30 p.m. in the Swope Recital Hall. The final session will take place on Thursday, February 9th with an open forum, My Story is Our Story, at 12:30 p.m. in the Smith Student Center Ballroom.
Join Black Action Society, the College Progressives, and the Phi Alpha Theta History Honor Society in the showing of the Black Panthers, Vanguard of the Revolution. During this event, there will be a movie showing and a post-movie discussion about the Black Panther Party from 1966 to 1982 and its political, historical, and cultural significance in the border civil rights movement. This event will take place on Tuesday, February 7th at 5 p.m. in the Smith Student Center Theater.
Coming up, the Butler VA Hospital had the opportunity to visit Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Hi, I'm Rob Disman, and I'm the owner of your local Domino's Slippery Rock. I started out with Domino's as a delivery driver when I was in college. Ended up really liking the job. Worked my way up through management to the supervisor. I did that for about 10 years. My family, we decided that we couldn't really go any further with that, so we decided to go ahead and become a franchisee with Domino's. I'm lucky enough to have enough community support that most customers have become more than just customers, they're more like friends. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this community for 20 years, and I look forward to many more years.
Welcome back. On January 29th, members of Butler VA Hospital had the opportunity to visit Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania and meet none other than Punxsutawney Phil. The veterans are currently in inpatient rehab and being treated for substance abuse. This was their first major group trip since the start of the pandemic. Mark Conti, the recreation and creative arts therapist, spoke with their Courier Express, and they had to say this, quote, "The main purpose of this is to do something with our veterans that is a healthy alternative to using drugs or alcohol."
The group also visited the Weather Discovery Center, also known as the weather capital of the world. According to Conti, the group takes community trips each Wednesday, but once or twice a year, the group will take a larger trip such as this. Conti stressed, quote, "We want them, the veterans, to be able to use their leisure time in a sobriety-based manner, or a manner that supports their sobriety and their recovery." The Butler VA group has also been making trips such as this for the last 20 years, offering these supportive trips to veterans in need. Quote, "Should you or someone you know need help with substance abuse issues, you can reach out to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. The SAMHSA National Hotline is available 24/7. It's free, and the information you share is confidential." And that's all we have for you tonight, Slippery Rock. I'm Rebecca Preneta.
And I'm Brennan Pierce. Have a great evening, SRU.